You're missing sales because you're letting people think about it, go through and wait, give you objections, or because you don't understand how to actually reframe them to thinking that investing into themselves and using their money as a tool and resource is going to be what's best for them. In this book and in this video, I'm going to trail you exactly how you're going to fix that. And if you don't believe me, this book actually increased my close rate by over 10% in the past month, made me an extra $15,000 in commission, and I had less friction in my sales, all by using the principles in this book. So if you want to learn more and you want to keep learning about how I've used these books to increase my close rate, drop a follow below and stay tuned. So in this book, Bill Perkins talks about a philosophy of living a meaningful life beyond just making more money. And so it shatters the idea of working endlessly, saving money and saving excessively, and waiting for the mythical someday to just enjoy life. And instead, he teaches you how to make the most of your time, the most of your money and your energy, so you don't just exist, you can actually live a true life. And this is where you imagine your life with every dollar you earn, every hour you spend, every decision you make aligns to creating unforgettable moments rather than just living life for the sake of it and getting up in the morning, doing the same shit, different day. Excuse my language. But this is where the promise would die with zero, and what Bill talks about in this book is to live a life rich with experiences, not just a full bank account. And the part I loved was the change in perspective I got from the book, because I used to chase money and all I did was chase it, but then I realized the rest of it made no sense with the money just sitting in my bank account, spending time with my family, doing the things I really wanted to do. And in this book, there were 3 key takeaways I'm going to share with you before we get into the reframes of how you're going to help your prospects. So stay tuned, notepad and pen and paper, and let's dive in. Because one of the key takeaways is your money loses value over time, but your memories grow richer. So what this means is the value of money is never consistent. So it completely diminishes as you age. So the adventures you dream about today won't feel the same when you're older. You're gonna have less energy, less health, less time. For example, you can't go to the Alps and ski at 60 and probably you're gonna get a hip replacement, right? At 20, you can do it now and enjoy it to the maximum ability. Go on the diamond run, go and have some fun. But at 60, you can't do that. And what this means and why it matters for you is because stop saving for later at the expense of living right now. Invest in creating experiences to enrich your life, because those experiences are what's gonna stay forever. You're not gonna remember that time you had $20,000 in your bank account. You're gonna remember the meaningful times you created with your friends. And what it feels like is, imagine looking back in 20 years and smiling as you relive the sunsets you chased and the risks you took and the love you actually enjoyed and nurtured because you gave yourself the permission to live fully. And the truth is, money can't buy time, but it can buy you the freedom. And the money used wisely creates moments that you'll actually cherish forever. The second thing in this was stop saving for retirement and start living for today. So like, society has convinced us to save relentlessly for a secure future, but most people die with money they actually never spent and never pursued. So the real security comes from living a life that's intentional and full in the moment. And I'm not saying spend all your money right now and don't have a retirement plan. Have a retirement plan, but utilize the retirement plan to actually enjoy your life rather than you're just sitting there saving and saving and saving for something eventually to happen. And what this is going to feel like when you're going through it is, picture yourself at the end of your life knowing you spent the prime years doing what actually mattered, loving deeply, exploring boldly, and laughing, rather than you just sitting there suffering because you chose to suffer. And the truth is, life isn't measured by your bank account. It's not measured by your savings. It's measured by the stories you've lived and the memories you've made. Because nobody on your headstone is going to write how much money you had in the bank account. They're going to remember all the stuff you did with them and all the things that were important to you. The third thing is, time is the ultimate currency, so spend it wisely. So money is renewable. Like, you can always go and make more money, but the years that you have health, energy, and the drive, they're fleeting. So waiting for someday to enjoy your life is the biggest risk you're going to take, right? And this is the process that changed everything in my sales calls, because helping people realize that, right? Waiting for someday to enjoy your life is the biggest risk you're going to take. And why this matters most is it's the most valuable asset that isn't your bank account balance. It's not. It's what you use in the bank account to create and fulfill your purpose, passion, presence. So align your spending and actions with the life you want, not just the life you think you need later. And this is also important when you're thinking about, do not spend your money because you're trying to impress people. Spend your money because you want to on the things you want. And this is where a lot of salespeople and closers and teachers and gurus, they don't tell you that. They never tell you the things that are most important. They tell you make a lot of money so then you can spend more money on their courses, rather than make a lot of money to actually enjoy your life. And the truth is here, the scariest question is, what if I fail? It's what if I never try? And that's the question you should probably be asking yourself if you're thinking right now, what if you didn't play all out on your sales calls? What if you didn't do the things that were important? What if you didn't ask that question to the prospect and you let them walk away? Because now you've negatively impacted two lives, yours and theirs, right? So this is where it's so important. And so how die will zero change your life is you're going to stop deferring joy, stop waiting for the perfect time to live. Whether it's taking that dream trip, starting the business you've been putting off, whatever you want to do, just spend more time with your loved ones, do whatever you want to do, just live your life, right? Because the perfect time is actually now, right? It's not later. And that's why you're going to 100% think about objections by using the principles here. You'll prioritize memories over material things. So you'll stop chasing the next gadget and the next raise or the next commission or anything like that, and you'll focus on what truly matters, which will make you feel more congruent, and your sales calls will become so much more aligned, and you'll value your time like never before. So once you see time as the most precious resource, you're never going to get it wasted. You're never going to talk to people you don't want to talk to. You're never going to let people waste your time. You're never going to do anything that doesn't matter to you, because every minute counts. So the reframes I've used in this book have been the biggest game changer. So the one reframe I've used that has changed everything was the business legacy frame. So the core premise in that frame was to transform from starting a business is risky to not starting means you miss your chance on building generational wealth. So these are really powerful for if you want to do like a biz op, or you want to have a process where you have people who are like on a money making offer or something like that, where you can help people sort of build a business or those type of offers. So the pattern interrupt I want to use and have them feel is, you know how most people spend 40 years building someone else's dream? What if I told you in the next 12 months you could set up a business that would support you instead? The reason I want to do this question is because I want to help someone realize that you focusing on you will actually be more powerful. So the two frames I use in this is, one is the power frame. So successful entrepreneurs don't wait for perfect conditions, they create them. And the other one is the prize frame. So not everyone is cut for building their own business, which is why I need to ask you some questions first, right? This is where I position in the sense of, we're not just going to sit there and I'm going to agree with everything you say and then hopefully we're going to start. It's no, I want to make sure this is actually going to work for you, and I want to make sure that you're actually the right person for this. So the sequence I follow when I do this is, what's the real reason you haven't started your own business yet? So the reason I want to ask this question is because I want to get to the core premise of why they haven't done anything. If they've been talking about how they want to build their business for years, I go, what's the real reason you haven't started your business yet, even though you keep thinking about it? Figure out what the procrastination, what's actually stopping them, where the fear is coming from. Then from there, I go into the next question, which is, when you visualize yourself in 2 years, are you trading time for money in your current situation? What this allows them to do is future pace themselves into 2 years from now and seeing if making and trading time for money is actually what they're doing, or they're actually doing the things that they want to do. And this will help them put themselves in the shoes of the successful business owner that they want to be. And the third question is, how much longer are you willing to build someone else's dream instead of your own? Right? This is building and shortening the time frame for urgency. Right? The second frame that I use and helping someone realize the change is the business asset frame. So I want to shift them from saving money, shift them from thinking saving money is safe, to building a business is creating an appreciating asset. So this is the pattern interrupt that I want them to have. Most people think that having $50,000 in saving is security, but what if the same $50,000 could build a business generating that much every single month? Right? Completely shift the perspective, right? Because, well, if you utilize $50,000 to make $50,000 every month, that is a great return on investment. And what if you could actually have that, right? So the frame control that we're using in this is, every day you wait is another day your competitors are getting ahead. So it's creating urgency. So someone else is eating your lunch. Someone else is taking your money. And nobody likes the feeling of money getting taken away from them. Like even when you get fined, right? You get fined because when you get $100 fine because you parked in the wrong place, you get so angry because you got fined even though you parked in the wrong place. Right? So this is where I want to help them realize that the money that they're leaving on the table by not taking action is worse, and it feels worse than them actually doing something about it and possibly losing it. So the intrigue frame is the second thing. Is I want to share specific case studies of ordinary people who built extraordinary businesses. So for example, the deep dive in this is what would your life look like if your business generated your current yearly salary every single month? And I want them to, again, to future pace themselves. Think about what that actually looked like. Then from there, how would owning a successful business change your family's future compared to keeping your regular job? Again, the thing is, right, there's a leadership frame in this because I want them to understand how would the life actually look? How would life actually be different? What would change? Then from there, again, this is cutting through the fluff and understanding where the real fear is coming from. What scares you more? Trying and having some setbacks, or never trying and always wondering what if? Because that's the biggest thing you always hear. What happens if it fails? What happens if it doesn't work? What happens if this? What happens if that? Well, like there's a flip side to the coin. What happens if it goes ridiculously well? Like what actually happens then? And that's the frame that you want to get them into, because if they're always thinking, what if it doesn't work, then they'll always be stuck in that position. Now, the third part is the market timing frame, right? So this is when people talk about, I want to start when I'm ready, I want to do it, or, well, like the market is ready right now. People are making money right now. People are living life right now. Why aren't you? So this is where, this is the pattern interrupt that we want to have, is everyone thought 2008 was the worst time to start a business, yet companies like Airbnb, Uber, and all these other companies, like even, for example, LinkedIn, like so many other big businesses, they started in the GFC. They started in 2008. And what opportunities do you see in your today's market that others are missing? So this is the most important part. This gets their brain ticking. Because if you start to ask them, for example, what opportunities do you see are missing? They're going to start to say, there's a gap in this market, there's a gap in that market, there's areas I can go into here. I can do this, I can do a starting coaching business. There's so many things that they'll think about. And that will allow you to be able to identify the gaps and help them take themselves into the position of walking through the actions in their own head, which makes it become more real, which they have less fear around it. Because the only reason someone is fearful about something and doesn't want to do something is because they have ambiguity around it. If it's not ambiguous and in their head it makes a lot of sense, then they're going to do it. It has to logically make sense in their head. So this is where the frame control comes in. Expert frame. So this is where sharing insider secrets about the current market opportunities. They're going to share secrets that they feel. And they're going to go, well, I see this and I see this and I see this, like so many different things. And the next thing is the moral authority frame. So reference successful entrepreneurs who started during challenging times, right? All these successful entrepreneurs who, just like you, started in a time and they took the risk and now look at where they're at. So what is different about them than you? Right? So the questions that we're going to ask in the deep dive here is, what unique advantage do you have right now that you might not have in a year? Right? What's going on right now that you might not have in a year? What or how would it feel to watch someone else succeed in your business idea because they started first? This is, again, taking that away from them. How would it actually feel seeing someone come up with the idea? Because the amount of people I've talked to who have come up with the idea for Tinder is insane, right? So when you ask them, well, if someone came up with that idea and they actually did it and they were making money out of it, how would that feel seeing that, right? And that's where you're slowly pulling away the idea of, I need to think about it, I need to wait, because they're sitting there thinking that I need to do it now, because people are inherently selfish. Then from there, what specific market conditions are you waiting for, and how will you know that when they arrive? So helping them realize that there's no perfect time. Asking the question, they'll go, well, I don't know. Well, how would you actually know if it's going to be the right time to do something? Well, I don't actually know if it's going to be the right time to do something. So helping them actually realize that. Then from there, number 4, this one is awesome because it allows you to utilize skill, because you're going to have some people who go, I need more experience. So this is where I want to transform them to, I need more experience, into business ownership is the fastest path to mastery. Right? So pattern interrupt. Did you know that most successful entrepreneurs say they learned more in their first year of business than 10 years of employment? This is dropping that statement into their call will just leave a really big hole in it, because people go, they'll be thinking about that, right? And I asked this question earlier this week, and it changed everything in that call, because they went, I didn't think about it like that, right? And then now they're moving towards being an entrepreneur and doing things rather than trying to learn. Because because you guys all right now, watching this right now, probably have login details to millions of different courses and things, and you haven't used any of them. Because you sat there and you're like, I need more, rather than just using the information and actually implementing it. This is why taking this right now, listening to me, and implementing it will make you more money now. Okay? So in this, I want to use social proof, where the frame is every entrepreneur I work with says that their only regret is not starting sooner. Then from there, time compression. You can gain 5 years of business experience in 12 months as an owner. You can learn more by doing rather than learning. That's why everybody who has a degree, or not everyone who has a degree, most people have a degree, never actually use them, because it doesn't actually work. Then from there, we're going to go through what the progression of questions are and how I'm actually going to utilize it. So what skills do you feel you're not developing fast enough in your current role? So this is where building the gaps out. Or what areas in your business, because like, how are you going to get more experience if you keep on doing the same thing? How would you get more experience if you just keep doing the same job in the place that you're not enjoying right now? How much faster would you grow? How much faster would you grow if every business decision and outcome directly affected you? So the thing that this is what's really weird question, and it's a really cool one, because when you ask them this question, if every decision you made right now directly affected you, then what would you do different? Because this is where people don't get directly affected. They just get a paycheck every single time they do something. That's it, nothing else. All right. And what is the real cost of postponing your entrepreneur education another year? What actually happens? What is the cost of inaction there? The financial freedom frame. So this core premise is shifting from job security to business ownership is the only true security, right? What if I told you that having one source of income, your job, is actually the riskiest financial position for you to be in? Because this is where I want to use a logic stack. This is showing how business ownership creates multiple revenue streams. Because, for example, if somebody has a business, well, they can run a business on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, etc. Right? So they have multiple streams. So even if Facebook goes down one day, they still have TikTok, they still have Google, right? This is where you want to utilize multiple business streams and multiple income streams rather than just one. So having your job, and if you got made redundant tomorrow, what happens then? Helping them realize that it's actually risky for you to think that your job is secure. Future pacing. Paint the picture of passive income through business systems. Right? So everyone wants passive income. So help them understand what passive income actually looks like. So the sequence, how I'm going to use it. How secure do you really feel depending on someone else for your entire income? Because they always say, oh, I want to feel secure in this decision. Well, how secure do you actually feel depending on someone else for your income though? And what would change in your life once your business generates more than your current salary? Like, what actually happens then? And how would you feel if you know you're building real wealth instead of just earning a paycheck? Like, how would it feel being able to know you can provide generational wealth rather than just getting a paycheck that gets replenished next week and the week after, and that's all you get ever? So this is an incredible mindset reframe around how you can change job security into business owner security. Market opportunity frame. So this is where the market's too competitive into there's never been more opportunity. So everyone says the market is saturated, yet more first-time entrepreneurs are becoming millionaires now than ever before. Want to know why? It's creating curiosity. So this is where we use what's called the information frame, sharing specific data about market growth and opportunities. So the specific things. Well, do you know how many people are becoming millionaires now compared to before? Because there's more information, the world is moving faster, everything's happening, it's only the action takers are getting paid the quickest. And then the next one is opportunity frame. Highlight the gaps in the market others are missing. So how we want to do this is, what unique value could you bring to the market that no one else is offering? How would you approach be different from what's currently available? People will tell you how they'll do things better. It's the same thing as it's the same people who sit down on the couch and they yell at the TV because the guy dropped the ball in the game and he goes, I could do it better. Well, now it's your turn. What would you do better? Asking that question, it empowers them because they go, well, I could do this better. Then from there, what problems do you see in the industry that you could have solved better than anyone else? So this is where I want to utilize what problems do you see that you can do better? What problems do you see in the market? And this is where it gets their mind ticking and they're going, well, I could fix things. And once people get into a resourceful frame where they believe they can fix things, they start to move quicker. Then implementation guidelines. So this is really important here. So this is how you're going to take all this and put it together, is start with light questions and gauge their entrepreneurial readiness. So I want to gauge how ready they are to actually make changes. From there, use strategic silence after hard-hitting questions. Remember, the person who speaks first loses. So ask a hard question, let them answer. Don't just break the silence, because you break all the energy in that call. The third thing is build momentum through small agreements. So yes frames. Do you feel like this work for you? Yes. Like yes frames, yes frame, yes frame. They keep saying yes, they're going to be in that frame. Chris Voss talks about this and he goes, get to the no quicker, 100%. But in some areas, getting to yes actually is better for you than getting to no. Then creating urgency without pressure. So this is where you help them create their own urgency, where they think about their boss firing them tomorrow. They think about they're not spending time with their family. They think about their close relative or their daughter or someone passing away, unfortunately, or their partner passing away, unfortunately, and they miss that. And they miss all the times and the important memories and everything because they decided to go to a job and not take the risks. Focus on the unique advantages and timing. So focus on their unique advantages. Empower them, because everybody has power. Everyone has skill. So help them understand that. Always tie back to specific ideas in the markets. So what's going on right now that they can use? Because if you make it relevant, then it's relevant to them. They can't think in the future. Most people can't predict the future. They can only take what's working right now. The stories of similar entrepreneurs who succeeded. Implement real life stories. Well, do you know when Jeff Bezos was walking through Central Park and his boss was trying to talk him out of starting Amazon, he had this unrelenting feeling in his tummy that he needs to do something different, and he knew he was better than what they framed him as and what his boss was trying to tell him to do. And I'm so glad he did that, because now I have Amazon Prime and my books get delivered quickly and I can listen to them online, right? That's where you make it real, right? Because if it's real, then it's true. Address the fears with facts and examples. And the third part is create a clear next step for action. So help them create next steps. So how do you think implementing these areas in, like, for example, your business, or what you can do? So for example, if somebody says, I know these areas in the market, so what steps can you start implementing now to get to where you want to go? So this is where you can have that analyst frame coming in, where you're helping them create the next steps, rather than you're telling them, well, you should probably start a business. It's no, well, they're telling themselves, I need to start a business so I can fix these problems. And that's where it becomes so much more powerful than you just sitting there going, hopefully this person's going to buy it. Hopefully they're going to have this weird change in their lives. No, utilize it right there. So with this breakdown, utilize it. If you have any questions, guys, let me know. Hit the subscribe button if you loved it, and drop a comment below with the biggest value bomb that you had. We'll talk to you soon.